Super fast. I've been using OneNote for a good half a dozen years. If you're new to it, let me just show you how I use it. First of all, when you make a new notebook, File, New, I recommend doing it on OneDrive, whether your school has an account or whether it's a personal account. It syncs between devices in a way that syncing on like a shared drive doesn't do. It makes mistakes. So do it on here. You'll just trust me. Ignore the 1415. I make a notebook for each course. So my honors physics, my regents physics, my APC are all different notebooks, and I have various other notebooks. The way I structure it at the top level is for unit. So like unit 1, 2, 3 might be math, kinematics, etc. Then what I do is I add a section group, which is almost like a collection of folders. So like in kinematics, for example, sorry, can't help but click. I add section groups as well. And what I do is I actually make a section group for each year, because I've been doing this a number of years. I find that to be the most useful way to do it. So in 2014, 15, 15, 16, 16, 17, 17, 18, and I still have to make the one for the current year. My notation is each period or each section for me gets a different section, they call it on here. So I'll make a new section here. 18-1 means the 17-18 school year, my period 1 class. This was my period 3 class, etc. So in addition to that, I have what I call P for planning, and this is all sorts of stuff. Sometimes it's worksheets, like I can insert, it's not in this one, but if I insert a file, I always like to do it as an attachment and then let it print. So I've got a printed copy I can write on, and the file lives here as an alternative copy of it. But let's say you actually want to teach a class. What I do is, so you add pages. It's kind of like PowerPoint in that sense. And you can actually have pages and subpages, like you can drag this over. So my standard way I operate is I make a title slide, and you know, I'm a little over the top, but I number every day of the school year, 1 through 183 or whatever it is. This way, when I go year to year, I have a better sense of when things were done. And what I like to do is make a title slide, and then it's going to vary. Sometimes I give them objectives, sometimes I don't. Sometimes it's a problem to think about. Sometimes it's a worksheet that we're going to go through. Sometimes they're blank pages. And I set these in before I start the class. I don't really teach in a super scripted way, but it is thought out as far as what I want to do. What I like about that method is if I don't get to something, I can just drag it to the next day like that. And so it serves as kind of a written record of what I've done there. So you can write all over stuff. It works for me. I like the colors. I like the ability to pinch zoom when I'm on my touch screen. Now, the other tab I have in here is K, which for me stands for key. So like tests, quizzes, stuff like that, I put in here. And what I do is I insert, again, you can do file attachment, and then it gives you the option to also insert a printout, which is what I do. Then I copy that page, and then I paste it, and then I write the key on it. This is particularly useful for me when I'm giving an exam 1 year and then I don't do it for a few years, or I have different versions. I find it very helpful. Now, I also use this to share notes with my students, but I don't actually directly share the notebook I'm working in. I prefer to have a class notebook, so my district pays for this, I guess. And the class notebook, I make a new notebook for each year. So like this was last year's, and I'll just have one tab for each unit, and I will paste in the pages here. So it gives me a little control over what they see, what they don't see, but it works pretty well. There's also a section, I don't want to go to it because it has kids' names, but where each kid has their kind of area of this notebook and can give me, say, lab reports and files that I can write on. They can take pictures. There's kind of a collaborative area where the kids can work on sheets, and we've been playing around with that. So I know that was really, really quick. If you have any questions, just let me know. But that's how I set up my OneNote. I've been using it for half a dozen years, and I really like it.